Crazy Dave's Kitchen, where today we're going to make a sweet potato and black-eyed pea stew, just in time for wintertime. And because of a friend of mine, Colleen, says that my ingredients flow really fast through the screen and she had a hard time pausing, I'm hoping that this little episode is going to help out a little bit. So, obviously, for a sweet potato and black-eyed pea stew, we're going to need 1 pound of sweet potatoes cut up, or you can buy the pound that's already cut up from the store. We're going to have, of course, black-eyed peas. It's not going to be black-eyed peas. So 3 cans of black-eyed peas. I have 1 poblano pepper, cut up in diced. Now, the poblano is going to add quite a bit of heat, not a lot of heat, but it's going to bring heat on the backside after you're eating the soup. I've already made this twice. This is going to be the 3rd time. It's really fantastic. I have 1 pound of Roma tomatoes that are diced. I have 1 large yellow onion, also chopped, diced, whatever size you like. I have 8 cloves of delicious garlic, chopped, minced, however you like it. I have some flat leaf parsley, about 1 cup. I found that 1 bunch works out very well and brings it to about a cup. Sorry, I don't have any cue cards with me over here, so it's hard to figure things out sometimes. I have 2 tablespoons of lemon juice, freshly squeezed if you can. I also have, one of the key ingredients is virgin coconut oil, unrefined. We're going to be using 2 tablespoons of this coconut oil, and that's going to bring a really nice flavor and a really nice richness to this stew. Also, when we get started here, I've got a tablespoon, I'm sorry, no I don't. I have a teaspoon of salt, and then I also have a ½ teaspoon of black pepper. And when we get to the stove and get everything going, we'll get to that point. Also not listed here is 5 cups of water. So that's the base of the stew. It's a very vegetarian stew, great for vegetarians. Woohoo! So let's move on. We're going to go over to the stove and put this all together. See you in a little bit. Okay, so here we are back on the stove. I've got the 2 tablespoons of the coconut oil heating up in the Dutch oven. I also forgot to mention, see, that's what I get, Colleen. I forgot to mention the bay leaves. 2 bay leaves you're going to need for this stew as well. So heating up is the coconut oil in the pot, and just until it's shimmering, we're going to go ahead and we're going to throw in our onion. And then we're also going to toss in our salt and pepper. And we're going to stir these around for about 10 minutes or so, until they soften up. Just keep an eye on it. Just like so. We'll be back in a few minutes to check on this, and we'll start adding other ingredients. And this really goes together quite fast. So that's the great thing about this stew. It's really quick. I've been bringing it to work and eating it for lunch almost every day for the last couple of weeks, and I really just can't get enough of it. So we'll check back in about 7 minutes, 10 minutes. Okay, so it's been about 10 minutes, and the onions are starting to brown and soften, and it smells really delicious with that coconut oil. Now we're going to go ahead and add in our 8 cloves of minced garlic or chopped garlic. And we're going to add in the poblano pepper. It's 1 poblano pepper that I have cut up. And we're going to just let these flavors kind of get together, get fragrant for about 30 seconds or so. Just so it starts to release some of those flavors. That's going along great. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and add our black-eyed peas into the mix. We are going to add our 2 bay leaves and then our 5 cups of water. I've got one with 4 cups here. And I've got it on medium heat right now, and we're going to just let this sit uncovered. We're going to give it a little bit of a stir. And we're going to let this sit for about 15 minutes or so. Letting all those flavors kind of come together. The beans will be getting some of that nice poblano pepper flavor, some of the garlic, the onion will start dissolving. And so that'll be great. So we're going to just let this sit and simmer. You can see everything in there getting happy. And we'll be back in about 15 minutes and add our potatoes. Okay, so here we are, 15 minutes later. It's up to a nice simmer, bubbling up a little bit. All the flavors are melded. Now we're going to add the potatoes and a little bit more salt. So we're going to add our sweet potatoes. And again, this all takes time to kind of come together. So we're adding the sweet potatoes, and then we'll lower the heat to medium. And we're going to cover this for about 15 minutes. I also added another teaspoon of salt to the potatoes to kind of help break them down a little bit. And it'll add a little bit more flavor. It's always good to have this stuff well seasoned for the amount of liquid that's contained here. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to cover this. And we're going to set, there's my cymbal set again. We're going to bring this on down to low, a nice low simmer. We're going to let it set for 15 minutes. We're going to come back, and then off heat, we're going to add our other ingredients. And then soon we'll be eating delicious stew. Okay, so it's been 15 minutes. And the potatoes are softened. And now off heat, I turned off the heat. And we're going to add our tomatoes, along with some flat leaf chopped up parsley. Give that a little stir. You see everything kind of coming together. Very nice. And the place smells really nice too. On top of that, we're going to add some lemon juice. And you can also serve this with lemon wedges and kind of squeeze it in the bowl if you prefer. And then I'm also going to season this a little bit more. I'm going to add 1 more teaspoon of salt and 1 more half teaspoon of ground black pepper. I find that gives it a really nice seasoning overall. And then you can serve this with whatever you like. I would love to serve it with some crusty bread, but right now I'm just kind of focusing eating Ezekiel bread. But if you made one of my bread recipes and had this along with it, that would be really delicious. This makes about 6 large bowls, or if you want smaller bowls, but it is more of a stew than a soup. And you can see, very nice, very tasty. I think you'll really enjoy this recipe if you like soups and stews. And also about the black-eyed peas, like maybe you're not a black-eyed pea fan, you can really use anything. I've made this with pinto beans. You can use any kind of a harder bean. But you see how quick and easy this soup or stew actually comes together, and in just a few minutes, maybe an hour total, right? 15. But yeah, in about an hour. I think the biggest time is the prep, kind of chopping everything up and getting it all ready. Hey, thanks again for tuning in to Crazy Dave's Kitchen, and try this soup, black-eyed pea and sweet potato stew. I think you should give it a shot, especially if you've got a vegetarian in the house. I'm sure they'll love something like this. Thanks again for tuning in.